Narcissists do this when every relationship ends. If you have been in and out of relationships with a narcissist, you will find that they do the same thing at the end of the relationship that they do when the relationship started. Narcissists only enter relationships for one purpose, and that is to steal your positive energy. They need your energy so they can feel better about themselves. They don't give a shit about you or your feelings for them. They are just doing everything they can to be the center of attention. And when the relationship ends, what do? They make damn sure all the attention is placed on them. I mean, it's always about them, right? So here are some things you can expect at the end of your relationship with a narcissist. First off, if you end up being the one to leave, they will instantly make you feel guilty. They do this just in case you decide to have a change of heart and stay. If you do get that change of heart, look out, because they are about to drop you like a bad habit. The guilt trip only works for them when you give into it. When you hear them say they can't live without you, or you mean everything to me, or you're breaking my heart here. All these phrases are just part of their playbook, and they only say these things to boost their own self-esteem and get back into the position of being the one to leave. Narcissists love to play on other people's emotions, and more times than not, they are successful. We end up falling for it and stick around longer than we should. You've got to remember you are dealing with a master manipulator here, and it's some serious shit. And a lot of times their goal doesn't even involve keeping the relationship alive. It's only to get you to stay emotionally connected to them. Another thing narcissists are famous for is telling you they will make changes to improve themselves. They will say things like, "I don't know what I was thinking," or "I will never do that to you again." And my personal favorite was always, "Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't the real me lashing out at you. I promise to be better from now on. I've got it all figured out. I'll make the necessary changes." It took me hearing that so many times before I realized something. And follow me here. They said at the end of every conflict, "I will make the necessary changes." And then it hit me. If you watch my other videos, you know by now that I'm a super empath, and I tend to analyze things and break things down. I try to be as logical as I can. So I broke that statement down, and it all came down to those last two words, necessary changes. When something is considered necessary, it means it's imperative. It's a must. It's something you've got to do. Had I only known then what I know now, a narcissist's biggest hurdle is doing something they have to do. Oh, sure, they made temporary changes, but over time, they knew they couldn't follow through with their own promises. In the end of my relationship, things just got worse. It's almost as if they cornered themselves by saying those two words, necessary changes. We both knew that would be something impossible for them to follow through with. And let's all face the truth here. They just simply aren't able to change that way. And when I reminded them of it, they did everything they could to deny that they ever said it. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about the love bombing phase. We know how difficult it is to reject people. When they come at us with this relentless love attack, it can be very difficult and confusing to grasp. I mean, after all the pain they put us through, we still find ourselves allowing them to seduce us, even if it's just for a short time. And we need to be honest here. It doesn't feel too bad when someone is gushing all over us, so we hang in there. We don't end things quite yet. We think once again, hey, maybe they have turned a corner. Maybe things will be different now. Then we find out that a narcissist only has so much gas in their tank. They just don't have what it takes to satisfy us. So I remember at the end of my relationship, I was being love bombed big time. And you all know how confusing that can get. You want to believe them so badly, but you have to take some time to evaluate your relationship as a whole. The thing that allowed me to reject those last few attempts was the fact that the bad times in the relationship greatly outweighed the loving side they tried to show. It got to a point where the love they attempted to show felt completely fake, and as it turned out, I was right. So let this sink in. Narcissists only drop the love bombs because they need to take something from you. They do not love you. They don't have the ability to love. They are only focused on what they can get out of you. And I apologize if it stings to hear this, but it's a fact. You can either trust me on this, or you can continue to be a victim of their abuse. Here's another thing you can expect when your relationship is coming to an end. They will blame you for everything. Everything will be your fault. They will never take responsibility for anything, because in their eyes, you have just turned them into the victim. I mean, seriously, it's like they go through a checklist. Guilt trip, check. I'll promise to change, check. Love bomb, check. It's all your fault, check. Oh, but that's not all here, guys. I'm not finished yet. Get prepared for the gaslighting. They will start making up all kinds of stories, or as I like to call them, fantasies, about how you said this and you said that. They come up with some of the greatest lies ever told, just to try to get you to believe that you were crazy, like you were the one, again, that caused all the problems in the relationship. Oh, and how about that jealousy factor? Narcissists are very jealous people, so they like to say and do things to try to make you feel jealous. Towards the end of my relationship, my abuser would do things like not come right home after work. She would just show up hours later and be vague about where she went and what she was doing. I just think she loved to make me wonder. And I knew she was only doing this to make me jealous. But I knew how jealous and insecure she could get, so I started doing the same thing to her. Now I know that's an asshole move on my part, but at that point, towards the end of the relationship, I thought, what the hell? Give her back a little taste of her own medicine. And the next thing you need to prepare for is the narcissist's revenge. Knowing how vindictive they are, you can bet they will go on a revenge campaign against you. They will try and hurt you in many different ways, from sending nasty texts, emails, to leaving messages and voicemails. They will say anything to try and make you feel worthless, to make you feel like a loser, like you don't deserve anything or anyone in your life. They will reach out to everyone you know and try to turn them against you, to let them know how evil you are. Their ultimate goal is to have you isolated, miserable, and all alone. They may even resort to physical threats, or even worse, carry out those threats. If this is something you believe might happen to you, I am begging you, have a strong support system in place before you go and end this relationship. You should have both emotional support and have a way to ensure you won't suffer any physical harm. And as a last resort, some narcissists will threaten to hurt themselves, and in some cases they will carry out those threats. They might start cutting themselves, they might start drinking heavily, or start taking dangerous drugs. Anything they can think of to gain back control of the relationship. Fortunately, I have never experienced this with any of my narc relationships, and I am very thankful for that. I'm not sure how I would deal with that type of situation. If you have any suggestions, please leave a comment below. If and when you decide to end your relationship with a narcissist, be ready. Because even if all these things don't take place, be sure that at least some of them will. And as always, I wish you nothing but the very best in your personal journey. So until next time, watch for the signs. Be alert, be vigilant, be strong, be brave, and go live your best life today.